If you're new to video production or maybe just not quite feeling real motivated right now, here is some solid gold advice. I've been making videos for over 15 years now. I've ran into a lot of different ways of doing things. And you know what? I want to boil it down to these are the most important things to stay motivated and productive when it comes to making content. This is how to get things done, baby. So let's say you have an idea for a movie. Maybe a kid turns into Batman or some kind of Batman fan film. I don't know. Maybe it's something different. But you have some kind of an idea for a story. If you don't have an idea, well, that's maybe another video. I don't know. But let's say you got something you kind of want to make. Once you have an idea, it's pretty common to kind of talk yourself out of it and say, oh, these are all the reasons I can't do it, or I don't know enough, or I'm not prepared enough, or I don't know enough people, or I don't have anybody to help me, or I don't have the right equipment. Let's take that kind of frustrating, deflating thinking and let's flip it around and be a little more positive. What do you have? What are the resources at your disposal right now? For whatever kind of project you want to make, chances are, even if you don't have a fancy camera, you might have your phone. And you can do some pretty cool stuff just taking pictures with your phone, taking videos with your phone. You might have some friends who are not completely into video production, but they are into pizza. And you can give them pizza and they can help you with your video. You might not have a top-of-the-line computer, but you might have a laptop. You do have resources at your disposal. So don't let that I don't have enough stuff kind of idea get in the way. So then what do? The absolute best tool that we have at our disposal when it comes to being a creative person is experience. If you've done something 100 times, the 101st time, it's going to be a little bit easier. So if you want to get good at color correction or editing or lighting or motion graphics or compositing or sound production or drawing or anything when it comes to being creative, you have to put in the hours and actually kind of get some experience doing this thing before it's going to actually start looking really good. And that's okay. Everybody started somewhere. And if you started day one trying to learn compositing, guess what? That's okay. You're supposed to suck at something the first time that you do it. Usually the difference between somebody who is good at something and somebody who's bad at something is the person who is good at it took the time to hone those skills. And when it comes to our idea, we can often be our own worst enemy. Thinking things like, oh, well, I want to make a Batman movie, but I want to make the perfect Batman movie. I want to make it amazing. And so I have to learn all of these things before I make my Batman movie. Listen, here's the little golden nugget in this golden video. If you want to learn how to make a good movie, make a bad movie. I'm going to say it again. If you want to learn to make a good movie, make a bad movie. In fact, make 10 bad movies. Because every time you make a bad movie, you're going to make it a little bit better than it was before. We can sometimes get stuck trying to make our script perfect. We can get stuck trying to learn all of the perfect skills. And the truth is, it's okay to make version 1 of your movie and not be happy with it. You can make like the first draft of your video, and guess what? You can go back a month later after you know a little bit more and you can make it again. And it's really okay to start small, especially if this is the kind of project that you've never done before. I think one of the most helpful things is to start with a small, simple kind of sample of a project and take it all the way through the workflow. So if you want to make travel videos, do a travel video to your local park. Take 45 minutes and go and walk to your local park and shoot a bunch of stuff and come back and edit it together and make a story about it. By doing that, you're going to learn how to structure a story. You're going to learn what kind of shots work and what shots don't, how to edit those things together, and probably a whole bunch of stuff that you didn't even think about. Like, oh, well, how do I color correct this? Do I need to use transitions? How long should a video like this be? How much footage should I shoot? All of that stuff is kind of just guessing until you put yourself through the actual movements of making this. So why wouldn't you start with a small, simple version of what you're trying to do so that you can get some of that experience in, and so that when it comes to the big trip to Spain that costs thousands of dollars, you don't shoot not enough video and not the right shots and you come back with a really crappy travel video. Think about the difference of, I don't know what to shoot, I guess I'll just shoot some stuff on my travel video, versus this is the 8th travel video that I've done when you go on a big trip. That makes a big difference to the quality of your product, but especially your confidence going in. This is the really big deal when it comes to learning a creative skill that I feel like not a lot of people talk about. It's okay to iterate, all right? If you're learning to bake cupcakes, your first cupcake might kind of suck. And then your second one might be a little better with some, fancier frosting. Your third one might be shaped a little better. And maybe your fourth one actually is kind of good. You have to go through these first steps in order to get to this last step. And so the trick here is lowering the stakes of these first couple steps and making it just a little bit better each time, to the point where you're producing stuff at a level that you're actually proud of because of all of your prior experience. And during that time, we're going to focus on learning. Don't focus on making it perfect. Don't focus on doing everything the exact right way. Do it the wrong way. And then go back and learn how to do it the right way, or to do it faster, or to do it with less stress. If you focus on learning something when you create and when you iterate on these projects, you're never going to fail, because you're always going to learn something, even if it's just a disaster. And above all, work on a project and finish it. Because if you don't finish a project, it's just an idea. If you have your video laid out in your timeline and it's looking pretty good, but it's not done, nobody's going to watch it. It doesn't exist yet. So instead of trying over and over to make it perfect and never releasing your video, just put it out. Chances are, if you're at this point, you're probably sick of working on it anyway. It's time to let it be what it is, finish it off, and move on. Because then other people can enjoy it, even if it's not perfect. And once you go through this process again of creating a project and finishing it, even though it's not perfect, guess what? The next time it's going to be even better. I talk to a lot of people that are just stuck. They want to have the perfect script. They want to have everything lined up because they're afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to fail. I feel like I'm pretty good at picking up a new skill and getting quite good at it in not very much time. And after doing a whole bunch of nerdy research on all of these things, I realized this is one of the reasons why. Is you take some time and you study little parts of this, work on low stakes projects over and over again, get a lot of experience, and learn this skill inside and out. And it doesn't take a ton of money really to do that, especially when it comes to content creation, right? You can use your phone, go out and shoot something, bring it in and edit it in free software like DaVinci Resolve. Maybe after a couple of projects, you realize my audio isn't good. Then maybe you think about getting a microphone. Maybe you don't like how it looks. Then maybe you look into cameras. You're running into limitations. You want to do fancier things. Maybe it's time to get the studio version of Resolve. But you're not going to know any of this very well unless you get in and actually start doing stuff. If you have a project you've been thinking about, do a little mini crappy, just a terrible version of it, and then do another one, and do that 5 times so that when you get to the point where you want to do your awesome dream project, you've got so much experience, it's a walk in the park. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I hope this was helpful / inspiring for you. This stuff really gets me going. If you want more videos kind of like this, let me know, and we'll do some more, heart-to-heart talking and stuff. If you want to learn a little bit more about kind of some specific post-production workflow stuff and kind of get to work faster and everything, we have a course for that. It's called Pro Editing Workflow in Resolve. It's available now at groundcontrol.film. If this video was helpful for you, let me know in the comments, okay? Hey, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for listening and watching. That's really cool. A lot. Maybe I should practice an outro once in a while.